Well, car makers want to bail out, banks want to bail out, but what about your kids?
Yeah, can you really afford to bail out your children, and should you? And what about when they're in their 20s and their 30s? And joining us right now, the author of Get a Financial Life, Personal Finance in Your 20s and 30s, Beth Kobliner. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I'm the only one on the couch that this really applies to. You're talking about kids. I've got a son who's 22 years old.
Okay.
He's going to be graduating from college. We've already worked it out. He's going to move home because he needs to save money for a car, house, the rest of his life. But there are a lot of people in my situation where their kids are at home and suddenly the kid is not making his car payment.
Right.
Or he's got a house and is not making the mortgage payment or the rent payment.
They revert to adolescence. You know, they're sort of back in mom and dad's home, and suddenly mom's doing the laundry and dad's paying the bills. And so you have to be really careful about that. I don't know if you've set up any rules yet, but you should.
We've got some rules.
Yeah.
All right, so you say if they are having trouble with mortgages and car payments, that is a reason to let them move home, right?
You don't want your kid to default on their home payment, particularly if they have their own kids, because then if they do, they'll definitely be moving back home with you. Also, a car, if they're using that car to get to work, you want to help them with that.
But with a mortgage payment, and we're talking about kids who could be 30, 40 years old.
That's right.
You know, if they've got a mortgage payment, if you as a parent don't help them, your child's credit rating is going to get screwed up.
Ruined, and then they can't get credit for 7 years or more. So
then they're really going to ask you for dough.
Right, then they'll be moving in forever.
But you say to be diligent about helping them with credit card costs, because we've interviewed other people who have taken on these loans and such, and then their credit starts going down.
Exactly. You want to be very careful with credit cards. You don't want to pay off, you know, if your kid charged up thousands of dollars to buy clothes and shoes and electronics, that's not the bill to pay off. But you might want to talk to them about getting a lower interest rate on their card, educating them, because they never learn this in college. You know, nobody teaches you how to get a low interest rate on your credit card, particularly if they have a few cards. They might want to transfer their debt from a high rate debt to a low rate debt. But if you co-sign with them, they'll get a better rate, but you'll also be on the hook if they default.
So do help them with mortgage. Let them move back home, you say, but
right.
Set the rules as you mentioned to Steve. Consider helping them with credit cards as Gretchen went over. Lend your credit score.
You have to be careful of that, though, because if they default, you know, it'll help them get a lower interest rate, but if they default, it's going to hurt you. So that's when you have to consider, Steve.
No, I know. He's got his own money, and he's got his own credit cards.
Good.
But let me ask you about this. If a kid has got student loan debt, you know, that is historically a very low loan.
Exactly. So it's a low interest rate. Don't help them with that, but talk to them about how they could extend the term, for example, of their student loan if they're having trouble making payments. They shouldn't miss any payments.
Sure.
Tell them that they have to do that. And also they should deduct the interest on their student loans up to $2,500.
Great points. Beth Kobliner, author of Get a Financial Life, Personal Finance in Your 20s and 30s. You can find out more about it on our website, foxnews.com/Fox and Friends.
At 30, you should cut off the allowance?
Out the house.
Yeah. Straight ahead, President Obama is set to meet with his full cabinet for the first time. Some major cost cutting on the agenda. We'll tell you what it is straight ahead.